Bolton Planning Board. It is 7 p.m., Wednesday, February 11th. Pam, can you take roll call, please?
Sure. Robert Romer,
Here.
Austin Groner,
Here.
James Barr,
Here.
Eric Nyland,
Here.
and Michael Lau.
Here.
Michael Lau, associate member, will sit in as a voting planning board member this evening, in lieu of Michael Gore's absence.
I'm not going to have my camera on just because I'm on my phone. So,
Okay.
Okay, Eric, thanks.
Okay, are we waiting for another person?
I believe we are. I spoke to him. He said he was going to log on.
He's here. I see him
Oh, okay.
listed in the participant list.
There he is.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, great.
I'm here.
Okay, shall we get going with agenda item 1, discussion of preliminary development proposal at 47 Sugar Road, a self-storage facility in the limited business zoning district. Gentlemen?
Yes, good evening. I apologize for being on my phone. My laptop's giving me some issue tonight. Patrick McCarty, I'm the president of McCarty Engineering out of Leominster. And with me tonight is Steve Migradishian from DNS Realty. And we are here just to have a preliminary conversation with the board about a potential redevelopment at 47 Sugar Road, which is the Heber Candy property.
Colonial Candy.
Well, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Same
Heber Candy,
family,
growing
but
up with
different
Matt.
name. Yeah, understood. Yep.
Colonial Candy.
Yeah.
So we met with Pam last week and we presented the Waterman plan that you see before you that Randy and his team had prepared. This was for a boutique hotel on the site. This was provided to us by the listing agent. We would like to pursue or to have a discussion with the town anyways about the potential for a climate controlled self-storage facility at the site. Due to its Route 495 visibility and obviously proximity to the interchange, we feel that this site would be a great location for that, especially with the residential development that's occurring just across 117 for the site. We think that storage would be a good use for the site. It's obviously a low impact where there's minimal traffic to it, very little demand on town services. But we do understand that it's not currently allowed in the limited business zoning district. So in the discussions with town staff last week, they mentioned that the board is currently considering amendments to the table of uses. And so we wanted to discuss this with the board and get some input and see if this is something that you could potentially support, changing the no designation in the table of uses to potentially a special permit use within the limited business district. And we do understand through those discussions that change wouldn't just affect this parcel, it would affect limited business as a whole. So that's why we're here this evening. Pam, since I am having technical difficulties, I did forward you the concept plan that we prepared about 5 minutes ago. I don't know if you have access to your email and could possibly share that.
Pam, you're on mute.
while you're pulling that up, can I just ask a question? So
Sure.
the plan that we're looking at with the hotel and restaurant, is
Yes.
that dead in the water or is that like a potential as well? Like, I'm confused.
No, that was prepared by Waterman Associates for the seller, and that was provided to the listing broker on the project. We were not involved in that concept.
So that was a seller's concept as
Yes.
like to entice buyers?
I believe so.
That's correct. It was meant to serve as some leverage to get some interest, based on visibility and existing land use zoning requirements.
It wasn't from a potential buyer though.
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of, and I don't think the broker had any firm commitments or interest from anyone that was willing to pursue that option.
So I see Pam. Thank you, Pam, for sharing that. So this is a quick concept. We just met on Thursday of last week, so we quickly pulled together a GIS-based plan, not actual survey, and we're showing a 20,000 square foot footprint that would potentially be 3 stories of climate-controlled self-storage. There'd be drive-up doors around the perimeter and then a common entrance to an elevator to serve the upper floors. Pretty limited footprint beyond the building itself. We've permitted several of these self-storage facilities in the past, and parking requirements are generally very low for them. Since no one really goes there and parks, they typically go there, either drop off or pick up whatever they need and then leave. So we have just a 360 access driveway around the perimeter. We've pulled the building back from Sugar Road so that we have ample room to provide landscape screening, and then a potential septic field location in the upper right-hand corner of the site. Granted, this is very preliminary, and this was just to convey to the board our thoughts to see if this is something that the board would consider entertaining in their zoning amendments.
Patrick, one quick question. How many stories is this building, or I guess maybe how tall is it going to be?
It would be 3 stories. Self-storage buildings like this are typically self-supported, so there's not a steel structure with infill framing. You'd essentially pour a foundation in the first floor slab, build your first floor units, put a deck and pour concrete, and continue to stack your way up. So they range between 10 feet and 10'8" per floor. So that would put us, somewhere between 30 and 32 feet tall, which the max height in this district is 32.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure.
Pam, I have a question where I'm on 164 Sugar Road, and am I conflict of interest in this?
No, you're not in a butter.
And not in the butter. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this would have to be, if we did this, it would have to be in all the limited business zone.
Yes.
For my frame of reference, Pam, could you pull up the limited business zone
Sure.
GIS just so I can?
Yeah, just give me a sec.
Because I think self-storage and industrial is probably a no-brainer, but I'd have to see limited business where that would all end up.
Right. I think it's currently allowed in industrial.
Right. Or at least storages. Do we differentiate self-storage versus storage, or I forget?
We have a specific self-storage category. Sorry, I'm having trouble
okay.
with the internet. And it's only allowed in the industrial district right now under the current use table.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
But I think following on what Eric just said, we really need to look at this as in the bigger picture. And this is
Understood.
Yeah, I'm thinking the last meeting we had, we spoke to somebody who is developing in the industrial zoning district, multiple sites. So I wonder if you're considering construction, I wonder if that connection could be made, and it might be more suitable over there.
Well, one of the primary reasons, this is Steve Migradici, and a developer, that we're really interested in this property is it's literally right off the highway ramp. I think there's one signalized intersection we have to deal with. Shouldn't have to be concerned with traffic studies. This is a very low intensity, easy on, easy off, no burden to town schools, fire department, police department.
Yeah, I mean, I think all
So
those fronts are positive, but I just want to see the overall limited business zone. So it's that along 495, which includes those three properties. That's
It's, yeah. And then there's
So
a
all
smaller
in-
parcel, a very limited parcel off the Four Bush Mill area. It's
yeah. So that's Bolton Office Park. Yeah, could you zoom out a little bit?
down here. Yeah, it just goes away, so that's why,
Okay.
That small?
yeah.
So is that's 626, the little tiny spot? What
Down,
is that?
I'm not sure. This part here,
Yeah. What is that?
that's
626?
a Bolton Bean.
Yeah, Bolton
Yeah,
Bean.
66. All right. Could you go to the left?
It's just one parcel, in the corner there, in the Four Bush Mill area.
Mhm.
Wait, orient me. Oh, that's across the street from,
Neshoba. Yeah, that's the town barn. And no, the pizza, right? The pizza and
Yeah, no,
Well,
It's-
that's in the business district, so the red shaded area is the business, and then there's a small parcel of limited business. I believe it's the real
Uh-huh.
estate office.
yeah,
right.
got it.
So I think the other limited business parcels are developed then and all appear to be doing well. I mean, Bolton Bean, that place is packed every time I try to stop for lunch. So I think that area is doing well. The business park is currently being redeveloped. So I
There's that
don't,
Slater's down east, down
That's-
117.
Yeah, east on 117. Yep.
That's Slater's and the auction house, environmental pools, sorry.
Yep. Across the street. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of wetlands down there. Actually, there's a lot of wetlands in the whole town.
What is and so Kane property, that's business zone, not limited business, right?
right. Yeah, I'm concerned about the area across from Sugar Road from this particular parcel.
The condominiums?
No, across Sugar Road, not 117.
Yeah, that's what's across Sugar Road is the 40B.
Right.
What's
Right
your
here.
concern, Bob?
No, just that if we authorize it here, we need to take into consideration what the implications are of doing exactly the same thing over there as well.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you're talking, it would be the Bolton, what do we call that? The office building there? On the north side of 117? Bolton Manor, right? Is that what it's called?
No,
Across the road.
no,
Across
it's
the road from
crossing.
you.
Yeah. It's the
On the-
dental office and a number of other facilities.
On the
Yeah, yeah.
eastbound side, on the eastbound lane, heading east. On 17, on
westbound.
117,
West.
Westbound north side.
It's across
westbound
from
north
the,
side. Okay,
Yeah.
across from the bank, right?
okay.
Correct.
oh, right. Yep.
So there's a lot of land behind that parcel and to the left, to the west of that parcel. One of the questions I have, you talk about visibility. What are you thinking about in terms of signage and visibility? I personally have a concern about maintaining the character of the town and not putting de facto billboards on buildings.
Right.
To, you know,
And to be perfectly honest with you, we haven't even gotten that far in the thought process. This parcel was brought to Steve's attention maybe 2 weeks ago. We met with town staff last week, and that's when Pam let us know that the board was currently considering amendments to the zoning table. And so that's why we quickly took the opportunity to come discuss this with you tonight. Obviously, we're asking for this to be, we certainly would never ask for it to be a yes, because that would, I'm sure, be a no from the board on their recommendation. So we're asking for it to be changed to a special permit use. Obviously, the board has greater review authority through the special permit process than they would if it was just site plan approval. And then any signage would obviously have to meet the town's sign bylaw.
Yeah, you talk about screening between the building and Sugar Road. What about screening between the building and 495 in terms of character of the town as you pass through it? Because this would be a significant
I think they
change.
want, I think they want it to be visible, Bob.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're looking for some visibility, but it's more of an accessibility versus visibility issue. We're not considering putting, 800 square foot or 1,200 square foot billboards on the top of the building. It's certainly not in my bailiwick, but there is a pretty good tree line between the property boundary and property owned by the Commonwealth relative to 495. So obviously we can't clear, we're not even going to consider clearing any trees on
In the
state
in the
property.
MassDOT right away.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it has to be a balance between the commercial interests, which I completely understand. It's a great place in terms of access. It's a great place in terms of visibility, but at the same time, that has to be balanced to a certain degree with the character of the town and the character of the area along 495 that represents the character of the town. So,
Right.
there needs to be moderation in that.
Sure,
Right, and
understood. Yep.
I think that, I think that could be items that were addressed through the special permit process to make sure that, we're not making a giant bright orange square that you could see from 495. Steve's current properties in both West Boylston and Westboro are the best kept, if not some of the best kept buildings that you'd find, particularly for industrial buildings. Landscaping's well manicured. I mean, he has better stripes in his grass at his industrial buildings than I have at my house. So, I can speak for him on that point and say that he's very responsible in how his buildings are built and the appearance and the maintenance of them. And, being a Leominster kid just right up 117, driving by this all the time, I'd want it to be a responsible development, as would Steve. So I think all of those concerns could be addressed to the board's satisfaction during a special permit process.
Okay, but
Can I
those,
You may not know this, but just for my rough idea, like the assessed value of what's there versus the added assessment of the much bigger property, like do you have like any rough numbers?
Yeah,
I don't-
I actually did talk to the assessor about that, and
Oh.
a 20,000 square foot climate controlled building, this is all extremely approximate, would be assessed at approximately $1.2 million with a annual tax bill of 20,000. And the current Colonial Candy Shop is assessed in the high 700s, so it'd be a slightly increase. I think it came out to about $5,000 annually increase in tax revenue.
Yeah, and I think that would just be if we were doing 20,000, but we're going 3 stories, so it would be 60,000 of building. So I think that delta between current and proposed assessment would be much higher.
I mean,
Good point. Yep.
is it a straight 3X or because it's like usable space or like, I don't really know how the assessed values
No.
go.
It's never that simple with.
No, it'd be nice if it was for the town side, but no, it's not.
No, it's a very, very complicated formula of square footage and use and all kinds of stuff. So I wish it were that easy.
Yeah. So could we say, yeah, like roughly 30? I have no idea.
Yeah, based on based
I'd
on
say that'd
ones
be
we-
conservative.
Yeah, based on ones that, I mean, the last one we built was on Route 9 in Shrewsbury across from the Wagner dealerships. And I know that one, when it was completed, before it had a single tenant, it sold for 11.2 million. And that was, oh geez, it's been a few years. That one was somewhere around 80,000 square feet net rentable, so about 20,000 square feet bigger than this. So I think that the assessor would do their homework on what similar properties in surrounding towns, if they can take
Yeah.
that into account. But I think it's probably 30 versus,
Mhm.
I think Pam said 8 that they're paying now.
She said, I think 15,
Oh,
but,
did she?
Yeah,
No.
about that.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Just a rough estimate.
but still, you're talking about, double, so.
Mhm.
One thing I'm interested in, like the marketplace or, this storage, public storage, like, they seem to be popping up everywhere. And like 20 years ago, there was not like, who are all these people that need all this storage? Where's it coming from? Like, I
Yeah,
don't-
it's wild. It's people buy them.
It's everyone, people
They're
downsizing.
they're relatively inexpensive a month, and so people buy them, I mean, rent them, and then they fill it with their stuff, and then a lot of them just sit there year after year after year, and they're just paying their unit. It's kind
Yeah.
of mind-boggling, but yeah, they are extremely popular. We did do a quick market study to make sure that we would have the absorption to support the facility, and it certainly proved out.
And
A couple other,
that's only, I was going to say
Yeah,
that's
go ahead,
only
Austin. Yeah.
only as a result of being so close to 495, or if it were a mile or so down the road, do you think the calculation would change significantly about, how
It's based on that, as access is a factor, so the convenience of getting there. I don't have to tell you how many people use 117 every day as a commuter to get to 495. And it's also based on the proximity of the next closest facilities.
Understood. Okay.
So
And I
if,
guess,
if
and the
we,
third factor is the condition of those facilities. Are they drive up non-climate controlled versus climate controlled?
so what we're talking about is if we were to make the change to self storage in this yellow highlighted area, I'm just going here. That would end up being where if something were to, I'm just, something were to happen to that whole where Davis Dental and that office park is, if a developer were to come in, they could level that and make that whole space storage, self-storage, or are we talking just
I think the lot coverage is 20%, but whatever that acreage is, 20% of that.
right?
Yeah,
All right.
it is 20%.
And the idea here is it's not by right, it's by special permit, right?
That's
we
correct.
Correct.
Right. Right.
A couple other pluses that I wanted to promote and compliment to the town. This is very low groundwater extraction, very low groundwater impact, very little load to the existing septic system. So, I know all of Bolton is on private water and private sewage disposal. This project would, certainly promote very low impact to existing site groundwater and
Yeah, I think,
sanitary discharge, so.
from my perspective, impact wise is definitely one of the pros to this. At least from town facilities or
Mhm.
whatever we have, Cons would be the proliferation of self-storage facilities in my mind, and like
Mhm.
where they would end up. Like, for instance, that lot 15 across the way. 35, not 15, like,
But
People wanna
Eric,
go there.
yes, do keep in mind that like if this were to be self-storage, I think that would be unlikely to be self-storage in the
Yeah,
future.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But
That's
but
true.
The market
Yeah,
would
that's a
be
good point.
saturated.
I do understand that we have to think about all of the potential areas that it could be in the future, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good
Okay,
point.
so not to cut this off, I think we've understood what potentially is being proposed. The developer and engineer have understood some of our concerns. I think the point is well taken, that it's a great place to have this kind of facility. Traffic is going to be relatively low. And the special permit gives us a substantial degree of authority to negotiate the way this whole thing will look and operate. So I think that's my perspective.
Yeah, and we could also, we can increase the assessed value of the property as another pro, and then,
Right.
I think just really the only con in my mind is just the aesthetics and, yeah. That's
But I
about
think
it,
we
really.
can work with that under the special permit.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I would.
Right. That
That's
would be
correct.
that would be our expectation is exterior facade and lighting and landscaping would all be part of that special permit process.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. I share the same sentiment as Bob does with, how it looks fitting the, and being a resident on Sugar Road.
Mhm.
It's like the whole Craftsman Village was something that came out of nowhere, and we need to maintain that that look. So,
Yeah.
and I know it can be done.
Yeah. My sister-in-law's best friends live probably next door to you, Deanna and Tony Frucci. So I'm sure that they'll be all over me if this comes to fruition and I make an ugly building on their street. So personal interest in making it look very aesthetically pleasing and fit with the character of the town.
Well, we can assure you that you will.
And we too have family on Sugar Road, but way down on the east end towards the Stowe line. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
that's the thing. I understand it's a prime location. It's great real estate, and I understand.
And we can use the commercial
Yes.
tax contribution. Thank you.
Yeah. I concur.
Okay, well, if there aren't any other comments, thank you very much.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask Pam if she could do a little bit more detailed study of assessed values of, what they're talking about.
Yeah, now that I have a better idea of the size, I thought it was going to be much smaller. I can ask for an update on that projected assessed value.
great.
Good.
Appreciate your time on such short notice. Again, as Patrick said, we just met with some very proactive folks in town last week, which we greatly appreciate. And I'm a local developer. I don't live in New York. I don't come from the West Coast. I grew up in Worcester. I live in Shrewsbury. We have family in Bolton. So, I'm a responsible developer, retired environmental consultant, 30 plus years in the business. So, I understand the issue with groundwater load and impacts to noise and traffic and septic systems and what have you. So, and any board members welcome to reach out to me. I can give you a tour of a couple of our facilities. I think you'll find them very impressive.
Great. Thank you very much.
Steve, can you send me a few photos of your facilities that you've constructed already?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
What you're thinking?
Yeah, I'll make sure there's no snow in the photos. So,
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.
thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Pam. Thank you, guys
Great
and
night.
gals. Thank you very much. Have a great
Bye-bye.
night. Thank you.
Okay. Pam, should we move on with the town meeting zoning articles?
Sure. I don't know. I didn't see any comments in the shared drive folder, but I updated the land use table. Everything that's a change is highlighted in the green font. I highlighted some other things for discussion. The housing choice designation no longer, they created a different category for rural communities and eliminated the multifamily requirement. So allowing duplexes by right would not affect our housing choice designation. It does count as a best management practice now and would provide us points, but due to our increase in unit percentages because of the Alta Neshoba apartment complex, we satisfy the criteria for designation. So there's no urgency to that, like there was last year.
Well, in my perspective is it does make sense if we do it appropriately. And we need to put some guardrails around that, but I suspect there will be a fair amount of reaction in town.
Yeah, my thought was that it's something that we discussed during the housing production plan update. And we had also discussed creating 2 residential zoning districts, just so there's not one flat residential zoning district in the area.
Yeah,
I was gonna bring that up,
Um,
because potentially maybe like, I think like the houses along Main Street, a bunch of them already are apartments. Like if there was a way to convert them to duplexes, maybe that makes sense. I don't know if that would be a conversion, but I don't know how you would like, well, I say 2 residential zones, but I'm not really sure, where the lines would be. There's no like natural line, I don't think. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But like, I think maybe this particular one, we should wait for the housing production plan.
yeah, it'd give us a lot more strength.
Yeah.
It also opens up, so I submitted the housing choice designation application yesterday. It opens up a lot of grant applications opportunities as well. Some of them are planning grants, and I was thinking of applying for that analysis of land uses for housing as part of that, and that would help us differentiate a couple of residential zoning districts. It's actually pretty rare just to have one townwide, so maybe it'll provide us with an opportunity to look at areas off of Main Street, where higher density development would be more suitable, and that allowing duplexes by right may be a better fit for certain areas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and maybe the housing production plan, as part of what they do, is if we were to go with a 2-tiered residential zone, they could come up with like what makes sense there.
Mhm.
I guess
So
my
I'm gonna-
concern, I mean, I personally think it's a good idea. My concern is that we have sufficient guardrails around it so that we don't get development of 2-family duplexes that is very inconsistent with the character of the town, whatever that is.
Yeah, and I think that would also take some additional time, and that wouldn't be ready for this year. So I think my suggestion would be to hold off on this and eliminate that entire row for this
Yeah.
revision.
I would almost think, I don't know if you could do housing by special permit, but I think you would want like, even if you had it as of right, but like you said something like, this is very crude, but like only one entrance per side of building or something, like in a way that you just don't end up with the standard kind of like box 2-door, a way that you could like aesthetically sort of create some rails.
Hmm.
Well, again, I think it would be nice to have sort of a special permit ability there and not have it by right per se. But at the same time, I think you have to, the best way would make it by right, but with guidelines on
Yeah.
what by right means for this particular
Yeah.
type of
Well,
building.
when I say by right, it would come with like a defined set of like
Yeah,
design guidelines, I think.
yep. But let's wait for the housing production plan
Yeah, I agree.
and get support. I mean, it's a little like the master plan. If you come in with it supported by the master plan, you're in a much better position, frankly.
As part of, So I know we've done we've done a million surveys on businesses and stuff like that. I don't know what we've done survey wise for residential, like if that was involved in the master plan, but I don't know if this housing production plan would have an aspect like that or not.
Yeah, we haven't, there will be public outreach and surveys. We just haven't gotten into the details of that. The committee hasn't convened yet, but that is
Yeah.
in the scope of work with MAPC.
Okay.
Where is
and
that grant stand?
The grants awarded, we're just finalizing contracts with MAPC. They've had some recent staffing changes, so they're allocating personnel still. And we're still planning to try and meet in the beginning of March.
Okay.
And I may be flying off of like old feedback, but the feedback I've heard is that people don't really like duplexes, so.
That's what I was just going to ask, Eric, is that if
Yeah.
have we officially had pushback?
Yes,
Okay, we
but a
have.
long time ago.
Okay.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It was quite old info, but.
Yeah, the duplex they constructed on Moderator Way, that I feel like that's a good looking unit.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying. I mean, it kind of looks like a
Yeah.
house, where the entrances, you just don't want a rectangle with two doors right beside each other,
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
But that was a modified single-family house, wasn't it, Pam?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
so it
Yeah.
kind of didn't lend itself to the boxy approach. Okay,
All right, so I took that out. We seem in agreement, maybe revisit it after the housing plan. Nursing care facility is an existing use, but it's currently only allowed in the business zoning district. I'm sorry, limited business. So I edited it in the business and industrial. I don't know how board members feel about that.
I don't see that that's a problem.
It'd
It
be
didn't
added
seem
to-
so. Limited business is more of the less impactful kind of uses in terms of the table, so it seemed to make sense to allow it in the other two then.
What's
Um,
the motivation for the industrial?
I'm sorry,
What's the motivation to allow it in industrial?
because I was thinking of the Stowe line and the vacant property and the proximity on 117.
I see.
So it had more to do with the area we have zoned industrial. And then we had discussed in the past when we were talking about the athletic facility in Stowe allowing hotels and motels in the industrial zoning district. So I added that as an allowed use by special permit.
Yeah. Okay. So it's consistent then.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Included some of the office use was pretty general, so I expanded upon that with some categories underneath: studios, dance studios, karaoke facilities. Created a separate use for personal service establishments, things like nail salons, hair salons, that type of thing. Then we added for-profit schools. Those are not exempt from.
Can we go up to studios?
Yes.
I get very nervous when I see ETC as part of a regulation.
Okay.
I don't know how other people feel about that.
Yeah,
I also was
it's
looking at
it was miscellaneous.
Well,
was
you
just
can't
wondering what else
include
could fall in
everything.
there.
I think you get the gist of what the
Yeah,
uses we're trying to cover.
That would include gyms and things like that too.
What's that?
Athletic clubs, gyms, they all kind of fall into the same category.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If somebody proposed a gym, I don't think we'd have any problem with calling it an athletic club.
Yep. Nope. Not at all.
So do you want me to, you're uncomfortable with the et cetera, or you feel like it's,
Well, I'm personally uncomfortable. I like the IE below it.
How do you feel about an EG?
Well, that's, yeah. No, that's et cetera.
Kind of, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly,
I'll do
gratia
studios and
is
then
et cetera in
IE,
my mind.
like that. How's that? Studios IE?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Medical office building, veterinary establishments. Um, We
Who
did the
has
ne-
regulatory control over the operation of vet facilities?
who has regulatory control?
Yeah, is there a state?
I don't believe so, but I'm
Okay.
not certain on that.
Okay. Be interesting to know.
Then we got a little bit into garage repair shops, gasoline service stations. This is probably one we want to talk about. Stations with related retail. And the thinking about that was like a Cumberland Farms type station where you have kind of a big convenience store associated with gasoline pumps. And we put it by special permit in the business zoning district and the industrial zoning district.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Interesting that drive-in movies get its own line there. I didn't think that people were building them anymore, but
There's a few around. You never know, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
historically, but
Yep.
um, one question I had in event venues, um, what about the one at the bottom of Harvard Road? Would that be considered to be an event venue?
I'm not sure what's at the bottom of Harvard Road.
Um, hmm, what's the name of the house?
The
When
craft center there, is that where
No,
that?
no,
No.
no, no. I'll think of it. Go ahead.
Bob, when
Okay.
you say bottom, do you mean closer to 117 or further?
Yes.
Okay.
No. 117. The one that's on the northeast corner of 117.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. They have like classes and courses and stuff there too. And
Yes. Yeah,
yeah,
and they have pretty significant dinners.
okay.
And is that considered to be an event venue? And we just approved it. So I think we ought to,
I'm not really familiar with
the name of it is actually on the Google map, I think.
you're not referring to Cultivate, are you on 117?
No.
I mean, right. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Can you just bring
Let
up
me
the,
Yeah.
Let me take a look here. Phineas Wright House?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that considered a bed and breakfast
Yeah, I
or?
think that was permitted as a bed and breakfast by special permit, if I remember.
Yeah. And if you recall, they have one of the reasons that it's come up in the past with hearings is that a number of cars park there for their events.
Hmm.
And if we're gonna promote commerce in this town, in the character of the town, we've got to think that one through very carefully.
I know they get licenses for their events with parking plans and
So does that mean it becomes an event location? And
No, this was thinking more like a hall type thing that hosts,
Like a concert hall or an amphitheater or something like that.
yeah, or a special events hall like the Manor in West Boylston or something similar to that.
Well, that's what the winery has right now.
Yes, yep. So it would cover all those things. So it'd
So
be
the
a large,
winery's in residentially zoned land, right?
the winery is residentially zoned, but they also have an agricultural exemption.
For an event venue. That's interesting.
Well, and then we also have a special permit for like an agritourism type of thing where accessory uses, and I'm not sure specifically how that one was permitted, but it allows associated land uses on agriculturally used properties to kind of to enhance the agricultural success of the farms, and that probably would be relevant for that as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I got involved in that with the agricultural restriction that the trust holds. Okay, but I guess going back to the original question, with the Phineas Wright House, would that impact her ability to do business?
No, she's already permitted as a bed and breakfast, and she gets special event licenses for
Okay, not a problem then.
her things. Um, Another one was data storage centers. They're becoming more of a land use topic these days. I think it's unlikely they'd locate in Bolton without us having public water and some electrical supply issues, but I put it on there as a no,
Thank you.
to cover the basis.
Could we add no to nuclear power plants too? Does that
Sure.
Yeah, but the tax implications of a nuke would be fantastic.
But when I lived in Pennsylvania, I lived 10 to 15 miles from a nuclear power plant, and you get evacuation material in the mail, like here's how to evacuate, and but I think there are substantial incentives to have it in your town, like cheaper energy and such. But it's a real eyesore in my opinion.
Which plant were you near?
It's called Limerick Power Plant in
Oh,
Limerick,
okay.
Pennsylvania. So it was you know, uh, 45 minutes to an hour outside of Philadelphia. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Just ask Vegas. They have great electrical rates.
They live in a desert though, so they're well suited for solar too.
So what are our thoughts on like fast food? I don't even know. I haven't looked at the definition of fast food. But like Panera type places or stuff like that. I mean, I don't even know like where the line is. I think we were saying if you sit in the place, then it's not fast food. So if like a Dunkin' Donuts had a sit in standalone restaurant, it would not count as fast food, I guess. Is that the delineation?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the legal delineation is. Certainly not drive-throughs.
Yeah, we
Right.
prohibit fast food with drive-throughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
here,
do you
here
know-
was my thought with like Dunkin' Donuts opening up in the Country Cupboard, and then you had Bolton Bean, which is mom and pop shop, and then they were talking about adding some sort of fast food area over by the Rotary, and I feel it takes away from Bolton Bean just a little bit, but
I think it's completely different set of like customers. I don't know.
no, I agree. No, I mean, to a degree. I would say if something was going in, I know they want to develop that area where the where the DPW is, and it's like just something different, you know. Um, I think would help.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a fan of like the mom and pop shops as well. But like, I don't know. I was just bringing it up. I saw Pam made a note of it. You know, we don't need to like change anything, I don't think. But like,
No, it's a good point. I mean, it's a good point. It's like what's coming into the town where, you know, do you want a Dunkin' Donuts every 5 miles as opposed to something maybe just a little bit different?
yeah, no,
So,
yeah,
I mean, you know, I'm all for that, but I'm not also in for, you know, killing mom and pop shops as well.
yeah,
You know, like he was saying earlier, it's like you go into Bolton Bean and it's like a line's waiting out the door. That's great. That's what, you know,
yeah,
I think that's what we want.
yep. No, I mean, Bolton Bean's doing amazing. So.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
just a
Pam?
question. We can leave it
Let's-
the way it is. So
Yeah. But it would be interesting, Pam, if you get a chance to find out if there is a legal definition of fast food.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a
think we-
definition in the bylaw.
yeah, there is. Yep.
What's
Yeah.
the definition?
Let me pull it up because I don't know it off the.
Shame on me, I don't know it.
And as Pam is doing that, I apologize. My new position, well, one of my new positions in my job now is taking over 15 centers for IT as a kind of like a director of IT. So I've been scrambling like crazy to figure out, you know, how the ins and outs. So I apologize for falling asleep last week, or I'm sorry, last meeting. Very sorry about that. I'm trying to figure it out where if I don't want my professional life to kind of you know, be affected by personal, and I know this is professional. So what I think I'm going to do, if with your guys' blessing, I would like to continue to be a part of the board, and I will put my name in, or unless you think that it is something that someone else that you know of would want better.
No, I'd certainly endorse that.
Sure. Me
Thank you,
too.
Bob. Okay.
Keep in mind that it's 5 years. So you're going to last one more year than I do. Maybe.
I'm telling you, IT is it's really not what it used to be, and it is mind blowing how many fires you have to put out in a day to get this stuff done. So Pam, I'll respond to that email and I will run again if
Okay, great. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks,
all right,
Jim.
thank you all. I very greatly appreciate you.
We appreciate you volunteering. That's great.
Hmm.
Can you see the fast food?
Can you expand that a little bit?
Yeah, I'm.
Okay, I can read it. Sorry. Okay. Great.
So, ooh,
Did Pam accidentally drop? I think she
Yeah.
did. Okay. She must
She
have hit
transferred
Technology.
the post.
the We'll just give her a
Oh.
minute.
Give her a minute to come back in.
Oh my God. It is so it's not as stable as it used to be. And it's not that old of a technology, so ugh.
Yeah, it still has the same gremlins though.
It does. It's incredible. And everything runs off of, I mean, everything from HVAC I mean, obviously it's the printers and everything else like that. If you don't have the right license number or the right IP address or the right, WAN address, whatever it is, I'm still learning it all. So, I mean, you're talking to a carpenter that has to learn IT now. So it's incredible. It's a whole nother trade. It really is.
But this is a good learning opportunity, you know?
Oh, it is. That's why I signed up, and because I think I'm the only one that played Nintendo that knows how to fix an AV.
Taking a long time for her to come back. I wonder if there was a bigger issue.
Let me call her on her mobile.
Hmm.
Hi, Pam, you gonna rejoin us? Are you? Oh, it's an IT problem. Well, okay. Right. She's in.
So
That
sorry
is
about that. I had a laptop malfunction.
that is hysterical.
Can
I'm
you help me out
sorry.
with that,
That was perfect.
But Jim was just regaling us with how painful it is to learn IT.
I know. It's hard for me to use it too. Let me just sign back into the OneDrive. Sorry about that. Laptop just died.
No worries. It happens. That's what I say.
Get a new device.
While we're at it, somebody should help Michael get some better headphones. We should maybe we should chip in and buy him a new set.
So sorry. All right.
One of the big advantages of IT, it keeps your gray cells growing.
That it does. That it does.
Okay,
All right, we're back.
Yeah. And then the other one was marijuana social consumption sites. We can prohibit those. I don't know if we just want to put no across the board. Probably would.
What does
It-
that look like?
It's basically a bar for marijuana, or like an establishment that could serve marijuana, so you could sit down and just like you would at a bar, right? I think we talked about this the last meeting. I
Mhm.
don't know. Not sure I know of any in the area. I'm not sure if there's an example in mind, but I don't feel strongly either way, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a fairly new allowed land use. I think there's one in Worcester, maybe.
Hmm.
it's effectively a bar, right?
Yeah, I think
It's a
mhm.
Yeah, it is, but you're not allowed to sell alcohol in them. They have to be strictly for
Interesting.
marijuana
Prohibition, huh?
consumption.
Yeah,
I don't know how controversial the allowing marijuana facilities was in town. I wouldn't want it to.
Doesn't that, yeah, aren't there like public smoking laws that might bump up against? There's
I
no
assume that was
public places, right? And that includes like,
considered when, yeah. maybe you're not allowed to smoke, but you can do edibles. I'm not really quite sure.
I mean, it's probably like a cigar bar or something, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Without the cigars.
Yeah.
Pam, can you look into that? I don't philosophically have a problem with it, but it'd be nice to know a little more about it.
I mean,
Sure.
I definitely, I mean, I think should only be industrial if we did do it, just because limited business gets into like neighborhood areas, and I know, some people are objectionable to the smell. I don't
Okay.
want to. And that would be like the minimum, I would think, personally.
What about just to, out of curiosity, should it be at the same, there are similar concerns, I guess, with the bar, right? So are we allowing the bar in limited business, but maybe not the marijuana,
I mean, for me personally, it's just like, smell escaping, I guess.
yeah.
We can just eliminate it completely. It doesn't
Yeah,
even
why
need
don't
to
we
be
do
included.
for the time
Ah.
being, other than,
If
And
it's
just-
not included, it's not allowed. So
Mhm.
unless we need it, I'd like to avoid controversy.
I'm just curious, how does it stack up against like a bar would today, given our rules, right? I'm just curious about that. And I do acknowledge there's a difference between, maybe the smell and such, right?
Do we even allow bars?
There's
well,
breweries,
it's a new
bars.
category in green.
Oh, okay.
We put it as special permit in business, limited business, and industrial.
Yeah. And what's a bar is just basically like, like there's no place that are just bars anymore. Everybody serves food and stuff. I don't know.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I
the
would
more
imagine
restaurants.
it's similar to this other place too, Like I'm not sure you would just go to a place to smoke
Smoke pot.
marijuana. There's probably more to it.
All right, so we'll take that out then. It sounds like
I wouldn't. I mean,
okay. And then where did we stand? It seemed like you were generally in favor for allowing bulk storage and limited business. We didn't take a vote, but right now I have it as
with
a
a special
no.
permit, right?
Yeah, by special permit.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Okay.
Others?
It would be in just that one area, not everything else.
Well, it would apply. You really should consider that it would be allowed in all limited business by special permit. I wouldn't take that site. It's a
Exactly.
very preliminary plan, and once the zones change, it applies to all limited business zoning areas.
Exactly. So we have to consider the possibility of that place not becoming self-storage, but some other location within limited business is a potential, right?
Well, the wide open areas across Sugar Road from there,
Yes.
which has much, much larger area.
Also,
Yes.
I mean, you also got to take into account if we're thinking of rezoning Forbush Mill to a bunch of limited business, including
Right.
where the solar array is now, that could become a big storage facility too. I mean, we have to think about it as a whole.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm ready tonight. I have to think about it, but I mean, I'm not sure I'm ready tonight to vote either way. I don't know.
Okay.
And right-
Well, I can highlight it and we can consider it as we move forward. It can be changed up until the warrant submitted.
And that would be, you'd change the third column. I can't see what the columns are.
Yeah,
but-
this is the limited business column here.
Wait, so we're talking self-storage though, not bulk storage, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Self-storage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right now it's allowed in
It's just down
industrial.
below, yeah, it was below bulk storage. It was like 4 below.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Self-storage.
Self-storage. Yeah.
the special permit in just industrial right now.
Yeah, yep. That's
Yeah.
the way it currently is.
I mean, to me, that feels more ideal, to be able to reserve limited business for other things that may be more desired by the townspeople.
Right.
But but that's just my own opinion. I'm not
Well, that's
seeing,
why I was trying to weigh, I agree with that, but I was trying to weigh how much we would gain revenue wise to see if it would make it worth it.
yeah.
Well, my concern is applying it generally,
Right.
so across
Same
the
here.
street.
Yeah, for sure. It's especially, then that kind of like muddies the Forbush Mill waters as well, I feel like,
Yep.
I think it's a bigger question. I mean, we kind of have to close our warrant articles like the end of the month, right? I mean, we have to have our hearing the end of the, like, when are we having our public hearing on them?
They're due middle of March, so the hearing would be March 12th. And we would
Right, so-
just we would have another open meeting at the end of February on it as well.
If they wanted to move forward with just rezoning that property, they could, right? Or is that a much harder?
No,
That's a,
no,
yeah,
it's not,
it's a much
that use
more,
is not allowed in that zone right now.
right.
Could
Yeah, but
they
he's saying
wanna
change the
rezone
zoning
it?
district. of the
Create another
property.
zone.
They could change it, but the option with the existing land table would be industrial, and I don't know that I'd want to allow industrial uses through that residential area like that.
Right.
Just for itself to allow a self-storage facility. So I think the better option would If you're doing-
Wouldn't that be spot zoning just to
Yeah,
change
that'd
one
be
property?
spot zoning.
we have we have a lot of parcels that have specific business and limited business zoning. So if it's big enough and has you can do one parcel if you kind of can substantiate the proposal. Like Bolton Bean is a standalone limited business parcel.
I mean, I did kind of, I mean, I got sold on it a little bit while we were talking to him, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not ready to vote on anything tonight. I don't know.
Nor are
Yeah,
they.
and special permit does allow your discretion too.
Yeah. Well, to a point, I mean, you just can't like, I mean, if, I guess to a point, if they're like, if you can't just say no because all of a sudden you don't want the use. I mean, if they're kind of like being reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, to a point, I think to a point, if we, say for instance, we did the special permit and then we got cold feet and we didn't want it, you can't just keep saying no because they're gonna be like, well, what the hell? So what is this special permit? How do we get past this process?
Right.
We don't want to be hard to work with as well, like we want to be supportive of business, and if we make them jump through hoops and spend capital to put together plans and then we say we don't want it,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be a good look.
But yeah, that's why I'm saying we just got to be sure that we want it and, and understand where they can go.
Yeah, I'd like to think about it a little bit more too, personally.
Well, I guess my scenario that concerns me is, again, the other land across Sugar Road. If they developed something 3 times the size of what's being proposed here, that would have massive implications.
I mean, it's funny. It's me and my kids, we have this like joke where, how if you used to see a Volkswagen, you'd be like punch buggy and you punch each other. We have the same thing with self-storage. Whenever we see self-storage, we punch each other because there's just so many of them now. So we're just driving down the road. We're like self-storage.
Yeah.
I don't understand the market. It's just, I guess everybody's just hoarders and they just, push it. Move it out of
Americans have
sight
too
or
much
something.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Just so much stuff that they just start storing at places. Like you said, I mean, they basically dump it and never see it again. It's weird.
Yep. It's like sports club memberships.
Yeah, it's strange, but I guess they would make quiet neighbors. There's a lot of pros and cons. Well, I feel
That's definitely a pro for sure, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll defer a decision. I didn't plan to ask for a decision tonight on that. So action out of this, Pam. Um, I guess we need to understand where else it would be. I think we pretty clearly defined that at this point. And any other mechanism we could use to allow it in a single location like that without spot zoning. Which
And also if you,
Yeah,
yeah, and
I
also
I
as
don't
an
think
action,
that's going to be a likely
no, I don't
option.
either.
also as an action, if you could look at the assessed value in more detail.
Sure.
Okay, can we move on?
Can I
Yes.
ask one more quick question about that property? So the the owner was the one that put together a quick plan about what the property could look like in the future if it were something like a restaurant. Is that my understanding?
She had the realtor had informed me that the owner hired the engineering company to put together that plan to try and solicit proposals for a hotel.
Oh,
And
oh,
and that's how they marketed it, and they didn't get any bites on it.
That's unfortunate because I really like that plan.
me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, and
Yes,
I
same
kind of
here.
wonder what if anything would be the blockers for a plan like that, aside from getting somebody interested enough to develop that plan. But um, would there be any blockers for that for something like that to happen, or in terms of like public water or things like that?
Yeah, it would require upgrades to the existing septic system, and I believe it would trigger a public water supply requirement as well.
Okay. And
Which,
is that insanely expensive to do there, or is that just, like a matter of like moderate investment needed to do that?
I
It's
mean,
not moderate. It's pretty
yeah,
We're talking
yeah.
costly. Yeah.
tens of
I
thousands
mean, they
or
have to
more than that.
basically,
More.
they would probably have to do a sewage treatment plant for if it's a hotel and um I mean 626 did. They had to create their own sewage treatment plant essentially.
Mm.
And then a public water supply, which is a much bigger radius and I don't know what type of testing and quality is, you know,
Yeah.
well,
required.
it's monthly testing with DEP.
Mm. Hmm. Okay.
The good news is that there's lots of water there.
Yeah, there's a good portion of the property that are wetlands and there's floodplain through the lands. So
And there's an
the re
aquifer right underneath it.
yeah, the southern portion of the property is pretty restrictive for building.
Hmm.
Okay,
Driveway. You want to move on to the next?
yeah, I'm sorry. Yes,
Okay.
please do.
The black, I didn't take anything out of our current driveway bylaws. We just expanded upon them in terms of grading and width requirements. We provided a maximum slope requirement, provided a distance from intersections, required more of a perpendicular as much as possible, meet into the public way, and created a provision in there. It says if driveways are two single-family home driveways are within 50 feet of each other, the board can request a shared driveway and they be combined. So,
Well, if it
some
flies, I think
site
that's great.
some site distance requirements too, based on the vehicle speed, just to ensure that there's safe curb
Pam, is
cuts.
vehicle speed posted speed?
We did it based on, we should specify that.
Okay,
It's because their traveled speed isn't typically posted speed
Right,
on rural roads, so.
I've noticed. Um, in item 2, with your question there, should we make this the entire length? In Bolton, there isn't any land left in which you could make it the entire length.
10% is pretty
so-
steep.
Yeah, well, I've looked at a couple of driveways that started out at 10%, and they would have had to have their garage in the sub basement. I think one of the things, and I don't know how practical it is, that if it can't, well, when a driveway is designed, in addition to having the 50 feet or whatever at a relatively low grade to preclude siltation and allow access and cars to sit there and not have a problem getting onto the roadway. With the problems we've had in the past, much of the problem comes well beyond the first 50 or 100 feet of the driveway.
Mhm.
And so it strikes me that requiring a drainage plan and the overall site design prior to granting a driveway permit would be much more appropriate.
Okay. I'm
What are
just
other
thinking of
people
whether
think?
to put that in the regulation.
Well, I mean, we could simply make it part of the driveway application and
Yeah,
require
that's what I
a
was
site
wondering.
plan be available. That's my concern. I mean,
Okay,
at this point, you, there just isn't the type of land left in Bolton where you can say, okay, put 50% grade in and let her rip thereafter, without having a lot of potential issues.
right.
So I think that's fine. I don't think you should it's unreasonable to require 10% for the total extent of the driveway,
Okay,
but put that in the application.
let me just make a note. So I don't...
Does anybody else have opinions on that?
We're also working on our stormwater bylaw, which would cover that as well.
Right. That thought came to mind standing in the cold on Meadow Road.
I'm still not sure what driveway that was. Like I have to go take a look.
It's very different than it was when we started this conversation.
Oh, okay.
No, and even there, Austin, they had to basically do an enormous amount of cut and fill just to get the first 50 feet.
Mhm.
And we only required 20.
I know, you're right.
I
And they
increased
had a
it to
tough time with
30.
20.
Do you want it above 30 even? Because
No, I think if you go with 30 and then you require a site and drainage plan, then I
Okay,
think we're in pretty good shape.
okay. Okay. And then Randy gave me a lot of this, but I'll just run the final version by him.
Okay.
Um,
And I think also, and I can't recall what the um, approval process is, but it might be worthwhile to have Randy take a look at it.
right. Yep. Yeah, he gave me most of the requirements here, but providing a a bylaw that he's worked with.
Okay, good. Okay, shall we move on to home occupation? I was very happy with this. I think it'll solve some of the problems on Hudson Road.
Yeah, it wasn't, I'm sorry, I'm just bringing it up.
Go ahead.
It wasn't, there weren't significant changes and I didn't want to make it a troublesome kind of thing, but we have had some enforcement issues with outdoor storage and landscaping type of companies utilizing their residential home for business operations.
Yep. Yeah, I had no problem with this. Anybody else?
Nope.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
Okay, let's walk through this one. Can you enlarge this a little bit too?
Sure.
I just had my eyes checked. I need to find a competent optometrist. Okay, that's fine.
Oh my. So this, I don't see there's a problem with this, but there's been recent changes in land use law which state that you cannot require a special permit for a definitive subdivision. It can be an option, but you can't make it an explicit requirement. So this portion of our zoning bylaw made it an explicit requirement, and so I made it as an option, an encouraged option. And it still would apply to other developments of 6 units or more that like backland lots and that type of thing, but the definitive subdivision is mentioned as excluded from this, but strongly encouraged.
Now, that brings up an interesting issue. You'd put in the timing issue on this?
Timing?
Yeah, I mean, when they are developed, if I recall. How would this have applied to, say, the Stevenson land?
Well, they were that was quite old.
No, I understand that. But given a similar situation today, what are the implications in the context of these changes?
Yeah, we could have required that as part of the backland lot provisions of
Okay.
6 units or more.
That's what I was looking for.
Yep.
So the last part of part B is where we encourage them to go through a special permit process.
So if they don't go through a special permit process, what's the alternative?
Just a conventional subdivision. So right now we require any type of subdivision to apply under FOSBRD. And you can't do that. That's against Mass General Law. Through land court decisions of land court cases.
Yeah, but like, so I mean, the whole reason, so that's like our open space plan. Like, so if we don't require it and it's easier for the developer to just develop a standard subdivision with 2-acre lots or whatever, I mean.
But they
Doesn't matter.
haven't, right?
Yeah, I mean, typically they prefer it, I guess, but.
Oh, yeah, I think they do. I mean, the
You
lots are
can't
more saleable.
You can't provide an as of right land use and then require a special permit. So you can't take a single you say someone comes in with a 6-lot definitive subdivision with the 2-acre zoning and the 200 feet of frontage. You can't say, no, you have to apply for this special permit under our FOSBRD.
Right.
They can have that option to do it and you can encourage it, but you can't make it an absolute requirement for filing.
And this
Okay.
last sentence of part B is where we encourage them to go through the special permit, right?
Yes, there's nothing wrong with saying we prefer this. We
Yes.
encourage you to do it, but you can't The way it's written now, it's an absolute requirement.
I think ultimately they were allowed to do whichever plan they wanted. We just would see both plans and we would say we prefer whichever plan. Ultimately, they could have gone with the traditional subdivision.
That's not the way it's written. It's an absolute requirement
Right,
and
no.
it's to be determined by the board. So
Oh,
this
okay.
just
All
kind
right.
of reflects that. You can't do that.
Okay.
Okay, but this works somewhat the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
I
it's
appears-
just
feel it's the same.
absolute requirement. It's just an encouraged,
Yeah,
just so we comply with law.
Yeah, just cleaning
mean-
it up so
yeah,
that
I mean, that's fine.
I don't
Yeah.
think people are gonna, I don't think there's many instances that you've seen where people don't use the phosphor. It just allows for cheaper development and reduces roadway construction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
And the last two have both been phosphors, right?
The last two I was involved with,
Yeah.
yes. Yep.
Okay. We have no problem with that.
we can't not have a problem with it, or we can't have a problem with it.
Yeah, right.
To accept
We've
this.
been told not to have a problem.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I don't think has been an issue. I just thought it was kind of weird in our inclusionary zoning bylaw, we leave local preference definitions up to the select board. So if someone's going to construct an affordable unit, the planning board has to refer to the select board to define those parameters. And it just seemed kind of weird since you're the jurisdictional approving authority over all the developments. So
It's fine.
I
A little
just,
like the sign
a
bylaw.
simple change just to make it under your discretion when you issue decisions. It just makes more sense.
Yep.
I mean,
And
it's
then the only
probably-
other-
it's- I was gonna say, it's
Oh.
probably too late to do this, but maybe we could talk about it for next year, is look again at the cleaning up, business and industrial, limited business and residential zones to lot lines.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What's the benefit of doing that except for cleanliness? Just, clean.
Well, I mean, there's multiple lots. I mean, the one I can think of in particular is like the current gas station. Like the owner wants to redevelop, but he can't because the residential business line goes right down the middle of the property.
Yeah. I
So
see.
if he does any like redeveloping, it can only be on the business zone. It can't be on the residential side. And I mean, basically cuts his property in half. But also, if you look at the industrial residential line of where Bolton Woods Way is, the industrial zone goes into where the residential area is. I mean, and then I think, there's multiple properties around town. They basically made they made the zones not in line with the actual lot lines.
Yeah, I see. So basically, this would help to allow for cleaner decisions to be made on the boundaries of these zones.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
I
the
think-
last time we did it or tried to, when I was first a member, it was shot down because it was too much.
Yeah,
off.
it got voted down mainly because of Bolton Capital's property.
Right,
Um,
right. So what I'm saying
yeah.
is, you do it a little at a time.
Yeah,
You should-
maybe
you
maybe
should
Focus
separate
on- I
each
mean,
article.
If Bolton Capital isn't, if that really doesn't affect anything, and they're not want to do anything about it, then leave that one alone. But focus your efforts onto where the mobile station is.
yeah.
I think they were all lumped into one article.
Yep.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can separate them and do a vote for each one. This way they're not dependent upon each other.
Well, I
Well,
just I
Bolton-
don't think you hit the town with so much information all at once. You kind of maybe break up, a couple of them just to read. Because I'm Eric, I'm in favor of it. I always have been ever since it just makes sense, and like I said, maybe we don't have to do all of them all at once. Just hit the ones that are more uh, um, uh, that need to.
Yeah, I
that need
gotcha.
to- yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately, if we could gain a tiny bit of, business zone, I mean, that would be a good thing. That's,
Yeah, I agree.
a property that's already like half business, so.
I think the two properties we look at are definitely the one around the DPW and the one that's by the mobile station because those are big lots. So
Pam, how big a deal
Yeah.
would it be to address the one by Bolton Woods Way?
I think we already have the maps. So I don't think it would be a big deal at all. I think they were done during the original petition, so I can just pull that out
I think that's an area
and
where,
propose it as an article.
yeah, I mean, it would be nice to
Okay.
make sure that our friends in Bolton Woods Way don't feel that industrial areas encroaching upon their residential areas.
well, there was one. There was I believe that there was a.
That wasn't
Um,
part of it, I don't think. I don't think we have a map for that.
There was one resident who had an electrical company there.
Let me
If
pull
I'm
it
Yeah.
up.
not, if I'm not
But I think it
mistaken.
would be a home. I think it was a home business. I
Home
don't know.
occupation, right?
Yeah, that he was concerned that whatever we did there wasn't going to affect him. It would only help him. I think.
Yeah, having
I don't know.
residential
I mean,
property.
if it's
Let,
too much controversy and we need more time, then fine, let's talk about it next year, but just have it on the radar.
I agree, Eric. I agree.
Okay,
hold on, I'm
moving
bringing
on.
up did we want to bring a few of those forward? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if it's something we also already have the information about on Bolton Woods Way and the gas station, maybe those are two that are pretty clean.
Yeah.
The gas station, I know we do. I'm pretty sure we do. That I don't recall the Bolton Woods Way one coming up previously.
Can we shortlist the ones where we think have the most benefit and are the easiest, and then talk about that take a look next meeting?
Yeah, we should be able to do that. Let me look at the calendar.
Wow, I didn't realize it goes directly over Bolton Woods Way.
Yeah, that's what the residents' concern was, is that if we had changed it or whatever it was. Eric did a great job with. I mean, the presentation was great. I think it was just so much that the
Well, I mean,
residents really
yeah,
didn't.
but if we do a couple of them, I mean, I should think we can gain a lot of goodwill with the people in Bolton Woods Way.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have time
Okay,
unless I just do include it without another discussion at a meeting.
You don't want to rush it. I don't
no,
think you
don't
want to
rush it. No,
No.
we've got lots of other stuff to do.
Right.
But we ought to put it on the back burner and get serious about it, as Eric
The,
said.
the area around the gas station, I think is I think that takes.
Well,
I
it's more
can pull
than that.
that
It's
out
what
because
goes
we have
behind
it.
it. Yeah.
If everyone wants to pursue that, I'm pretty sure I can just pull that out and
Yeah, I mean,
advertise for it.
yeah, I mean, it's Either people vote for it or they don't vote for it, and it wouldn't hurt anything else. But I know for years he's been wanting to redevelop that property, but he just can't. So
If I remember, the big concern was, knocking down that building over next to or right across from Bolton Manor, where if a developer just bought
I
it,
mean, so yeah, if anybody wanted, I don't know why anybody wants. It's absolutely beautiful, but like that was the major concern is making that all business zone. It's actually
Right.
a fair amount of land. It could be a pretty big business property, you know.
right. We just don't want to give the developer the ability to do
That
that.
property was the major contention point, so I wouldn't want to even touch that.
Yeah, right. Start with the gas station.
Okay, I can pull that out easy enough. And I'll include that. And then
What?
the only other
what
one was Moderator Way.
Eric, do
For
you know
sure.
what he wants to do with that area?
I mean, I've seen plans where he wants to have like a cafe, like a bigger gas station and a cafe type thing. Yeah.
Are we talking like a Cumberland Farms type area, or?
Um, I mean, this is super old, so I don't even know like if it was even anything, but like he should, I saw a plan with like a more modern looking, like kind of like if in Berlin near the Rotary, like kind of like a rustic looking gas station with
Yeah.
cafe and stuff like that. Sort of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, shall we move on to Moderator Way, Pam?
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting the as-built and road layout plans the end of February 20th is when he said they'd be submitted to the town. So we would need to petition town meeting to accept them as public ways. They are currently town-owned property, but they're not considered a public street.
Okay, so we'll see that February 20th then, or hopefully.
Yes, at the next meeting on the
Yeah.
25th.
Okay. Driveway sureties?
Yeah, that's I'm gonna request you hold off on that. Randy thought there were some problems when the driveway was constructed with a small amount of runoff entering the roadway. And due to the significant snow cover we have, it was really too difficult to tell what was going on. So I'm gonna request we continue that until the March meeting at least, so we can have a better look at the grading and the conditions.
Okay. Good. And last, hopefully, but not least, approval of our December 3rd presentation and conversation with the folks around Forbush Mill in Maine. Any comments on that?
Good to me.
Yep, same.
Yep, fine here. Thank you, Pam.
We
And
just,
thanks for putting it together in the first place.
we just need these are gonna be our minutes for the meeting, so if you
Okay,
could just do an official vote.
okay. Do I hear a motion?
I will make a motion.
I'll make them. Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Eric. You do it.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for the
December 3rd,
for the
December
December
3rd.
3rd Forbush Mill meeting.
I'll second.
Robert Romer,
Aye.
Austin Groner,
I
Michael Gore. Oh, he's not here. Eric Nyland.
Aye.
Okay, those are approved by 3-0.
Okay, dare I ask, Any other business? Hearing none? I hear a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good night.
All right, thank
Thank
you.
you all.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Night.